Hello everyone, this is Armstrong Williams on the right side. Armstrong. Don't curse, speak English. Armstrong. Virtuous society. Armstrong. I dare you to listen. Hey, turn it up. Hey. Armstrong. Get on the right side. Armstrong. Elevate your mind. Armstrong. I'm Armstrong Williams on the right side. Armstrong. Yo, man, it's your boy K.O. And you're tuned into the most conservative of our brothers. Armstrong. The Armstrong Williams Show. Please give me a break. Grow up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Armstrong Williams Show. We often, as in the past, do our profiles encourage remarkable individuals from around the world. And it's not just Americans. I mean, there are people that if you were to meet, their immediate impact would just change your life for the better. And there are those remarkable people. And fortunately for me, and I thank God for the blessing of being able to travel and being in the kind of role that I am as a media journalist, where my life is a laboratory. Not only do I get the opportunity to meet, but I do get the opportunity to spend quality time and interview some incredible people. Today, you're going to meet Bola Kuforiji Olubi from the country of Nigeria. There is so much that I would like to ask and discuss with her, but for the length of this interview, which will be the full interview, this is a profile of Dr. Kuforiji. She graduated from the University of London in 1963 with honors in economics. I mean, she's a philanthropist. She was the former Secretary of Tourism and Commerce for the country of Nigeria. There are those in her country that implored her at one time to run for president of the country, but she chose not to, and we'll get into that later. But let me welcome our very distinguished guest to our live studios. Dr. Kuforiji, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to be on your network.
What is it that must happen in a child's life early on that prepares them not only for leadership, but for character that is so desperately lacking in the world?
Well, I was raised by a parent, my father, I'm referring to him now, who was very strict. And he insisted on me living with several relations to acquire some sense, as he called it. So I was subjected to this. But it wasn't a very pleasant experience for me in my childhood, and that conditioned me to think that I must make a difference in my life. I must do things that position me in positions of authority, which make me somebody that will add value to other people's life and add value to the lives of my children when I have them, and to my own life as well.
What was it like? Let's go back to your early childhood. What are some of your childhood memories with your parents that left an indelible print on what you have eventually become in the world?
My father's strictness, and again my mother's strictness. I am the only child of my mother. She had another one but died at birth. And you would have thought that she had 100 children the way she raised me. She never spared the rod. She never spared asking me to do things which I considered were onerous. But then, looking back on my life, I give glory to God for having such parents, because they conditioned my life for the future.
Talk about the value of education in your home.
Yes, education for me, I believe, is not negotiable. For a woman in particular, from the society in which I came from, and I still live in, I believe that a well-educated woman has the opportunity to actually be heard. Because if you do not have good education, good antecedents and cerebral power, it's difficult for you to hold your own and meet a society which is mainly male-dominated.
You know, growing up in a place like Nigeria, obviously we're going to get into the infrastructure and the challenges, especially for women. But do you believe now, at your place of wisdom and authority and an example, that it really doesn't matter where you're born? It's what's within the individual that determines their destiny and their fate?
Yes, to some extent, I do believe that. You make your own life, you determine what you want to do, and you determine where you want to get to. It doesn't matter where you were born. But the fact is, if you're born in a part of the world where the opportunities are not available to you, then you've got to make your own chance, make your own opportunities, and create a venue for yourself, to be seen and heard, not just to be seen and not heard.
How does someone who listens to our broadcasts around the world, in Europe, in Africa, in the United States, especially women and people who believe that they were born at a disadvantage? They did not have the wealth, they did not have the education, they did not have a two-parent household. Many grew up in orphanages, and so they see their lives as their race was already rigged before they started. How do they change the road that they seem to feel that they're on to the road which they believe they should be on?
I think every woman should have the determination to position herself on a road and path of success. And like I said earlier on, you need the preparation of a good education for you to be able to do that. You need an innate desire in your heart to ensure that your values are not compromised. And wherever you are born, whatever you determine to do, whatever education you determine to have, you must have this at the back of your mind, that you're not asking anybody to look at you and favor you because you're a woman. You're asking people to look at you because you do have something that is different even from the next woman, from the majority of your peers. You have to stand out. You have to be outstanding. You have to be diligent and determined to make a difference.
If you were to... You have been many things in your life: a businesswoman, an elected official, an appointed official, a chairman of banks, a seamstress. There are so many things. It seems as though that your education was not just in the walls of the university or the walls of the schools, that you acquired skills beyond what you were taught, as if it's good to get an education, but even with that, it may not be enough. There are things that you must self-teach, self-learn, and to elevate yourself into arenas where you may, at some point in your life, prepare yourself for even greater success.
Well, across the world, I look at role models. Education, formal education is good, but it's not enough. As long as one is alive and you live in, you continue to learn from other people. And I am not averse to learning from even people who are younger than I am, because one is not a citadel of wisdom. Wisdom is not the preserve of one person, and you can learn, from the strangest person that you meet. And this is what I have done all my life.
Talk about not just financial success, but talk about family success. Success even in your own spirit, in your relationship with your Creator. Because so much of what we think of success today is defined by materialism and things.
No, I mirror my success from the things that I've been able to do in adding value to other people's life, in my philanthropic life, in the way I've raised my children. And I look at my 3 children and I give thanks and glory to God because I have actually made a great deal of sacrifice to ensure that my children are well educated, that they are well behaved, that they are well mannered, and that I could be proud of them anytime, any day, anywhere.
You know, you're listening to our very special guest, Bola Kuforiji Olubi, who is our very special guest. Dr. Olubi was in the United States recently for the inauguration of President Obama, and the significance of that day falling on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. We're going to talk about President Obama's significance to Africa, Martin Luther King, and the history, the progress that Americans, especially those of color, continue to make in the world. We'll be back.
Attention, a very wealthy international benefactor now reveals money-making secrets used by the rich and powerful. Now you can learn how to make more money than you ever dreamed possible. Ancient secrets that have been used by members of secret societies for centuries are now being revealed. Now this money-making secret is being made available to the public. Receive the CD, Money Making Secrets Revealed, absolutely free. Learn how you can make money, achieve your dreams, eliminate debt, and develop super wealth. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and is available only for a limited time. Call and get Money Making Secrets Revealed absolutely free.
Dial 1-800-839-4522. That's 1-800-839-4522. 1-800-839-4522. Remember, 1-800-839-4522. That's 1-800-839-4522.